Hi everybody, it's Stacy and it's day 27 of my juicing journal. Sorry to get a video out yesterday. The day it did not go as planned, let's just say that. So my husband told me at one point in time during the day that our youngest was gonna have one friend stay overnight. And then the next thing I know, I have three boys in addition to my son sleeping here last night. So he had three friends over. So was four 14-year-olds, took over my house, took over my life. I spent half the night trying to find enough snacks to keep them fed and then worrying about me wanting what they were eating because, it was all crap food. And then they were watching football and they're just wild. And junior high, 8th grade humor. It's pretty funny at times, mostly annoying. They have their moments where they shine with their humor, but I was tired. And then we stayed up late watching some TV, and so I just didn't have a moment where I felt comfortable shooting a video. So thank goodness that part is over, and they all went home early this morning. And then one of my friends texted me and said, hey, Whole Foods has some juices on sale. So I had planned already on going up and picking up my new yoga mat and hitting the noon class. So I left the house early to hit Whole Foods before I did that. And I was in a super mad dash because I was, still had to go pick up my mat, still needed to get to the yoga studio and all that good stuff. So, but I was getting in there and I grabbed a few cold pressed juices, and then I got in the car and I was like, why in the world would they ruin this juice? There was a couple of them that had added pure cane sugar to it. I'm like, you had it all right, and then you just one little thing and you sent it down the wrong path. And I noticed Suja, you have to watch them too. They like to slip in things too, like rice milk or all of that. I'm like, stop ruining these juices because they're really good. It doesn't need all that stuff in there. But, they are super convenient, and I can see that there's a lot of people or a lot of companies kind of jumping on the bandwagon and making some, which is great, but you have to really read the labels. And I know from a convenience standpoint, it's amazing to be able to pop in these stores and grab something, especially if you're running low or you're out longer than you thought you were going to be, or you're just in a rush. But you really have to read those labels, and they're ruining juices. I can't get over it. So I did go to yoga today. I picked up my new mat and I went to yoga and I sweat all over the place. It was amazing. It's so cold here though. Talk about contrast. You go in for where it's, I don't even know what the temperature is outside. What is the temperature outside? It's 18 degrees, and that's without the wind chill, and the wind is blowing, so it's colder than that. And then you're going into a 100-degree studio, and then when you come out, you're literally soaking wet. And so you turn into basically an icicle as you walk to your car. But it felt amazing, and I just was one of the things I just love so much about yoga, and it was, and I have some great teachers. They have some great yoga instructors there. And it was really, they talk a lot at the class about setting your intention, setting your intentions for the class, setting your intentions for your day or even beyond that. And I noticed I really started setting my intentions around continuing my health journey as I'm getting very close here to the end. Tomorrow's my last day of full-time juicing until February 10th. And that comes to me with some mixed emotions. Am I glad that I can eat some food? I am, but I'm also a little nervous about it because I've had good progress and I don't want to ruin it. I want to stay on the path, and but I really loved, you set your intention. And one of the things I've said about yoga for years, why I love it, because I can get the wheels going in here a lot. And especially I have a very high stress job and I have a hard time turning my head off. I mean, it causes me not to sleep sometimes and just to have anxiety and those types of things. And so one of the things I've always said about yoga is it literally can turn my brain off for at least that hour that I'm there. And it does. It turns my brain off because all you're worrying about is your pose and the flow and listening to the instructor tell you what's coming next. And it really just turns my brain off. But I also at the end was, she's starting to talk again about, kind of these questions that make you think and about your intentions. And I was starting to think, I was like, and I haven't thought about juicing. I haven't worried about food for an hour. And so it was really one of those things where I'm like, I wish I could apply these techniques more in my life, where I start turning my brain off more to cravings and to the fact that I think I need something when I really don't need it or want it. So I'm excited about this. I'm going to continue to use this channel as an accountability channel, because I will tell you, I probably would have bailed on this or not nearly been as successful as I have been if I hadn't done this YouTube channel. And it's a little bit of therapy on here. I've made some friends through this, but it keeps me accountable. So, I've got some things I want to continue to still be accountable on. And one of those involves yoga. So I mentioned in my last video that my studio does a 20 classes in 30-day challenge, and that's coming up here in just a few days. So I'm also going to use this for accountability for my 20 and 30 challenge, because it's kind of like this. It's like you start with the juicing, and then you just keep layering on these things that you want to incorporate into your life and start holding yourself accountable. And I think, kind of stripping yourself back and only having juice for such an extended period of time, you really do develop some good habits. And so it's like, how do I start employing these habits continuously outside of juicing and into other aspects of my life? And that's really where I'm trying to get my head around and start thinking about it that way. So one of those is going to be with yoga. I'm also, the habits I've really started with this is being just more active in my kitchen and being more proactive and thoughtful and plan what we need to shop for, what we're going to make. And so I am going to start making meals for my husband and I, plan them out, prep them. I mentioned the bento boxes. I'm going to start doing some of that, so there's no excuses, right? And then, this is kind of a random thought, but the other thing that I have a friend from work, and my door just flew open. I'm back. How weird and random was that? The wind is so crazy outside. Just blew my front door open. It's so amazing to live in the Midwest in the winter. I love January. Oh, but I was saying, I work with this woman, and every once in a while she posts on my Facebook page something to the extent about, and it usually has a theme like, I'm a big drinker. And I'm really not a big drinker. I mean, do I drink? Yes. Alcohol. I do. But I know this is a woman who has cases of wine delivered to her house. And so she tags me and another person that we work with often, like, we're these big drinkers. And we are drinkers, but we're not big drinkers. So I've always kind of just thought that was a little strange. But, and I don't know if it just makes her feel better to have some company in that, because she is a big drinker. And, that's fine. But, and to be fair, maybe she's just saying because we have these stressful jobs, and oftentimes we joke about, this is going to drive me to drink or something. So I'm still trying to wrap my head around that, because first of all, we don't even live in the same state, so she wouldn't know how much I drink or not. So I think it's just kind of a joke, but it kind of, I don't know, it kind of hit me in an odd way when they came up on my Facebook feed the other day. But then I started thinking, I really haven't been drinking, and I haven't been drinking at all. In fact, I think the last drink I had was on Christmas Eve, and it was a mimosa. We hosted, and we did kind of like a mimosa bar. So, but I did think about it. I'm like, I've given up alcohol for 27, 28 days, honestly, without even thinking about it. I mean, like, it's been a non-issue. And, think about all that wasted calories and the impacts it has to your health and your metabolism. I mean, I really haven't missed it. Am I saying I'm never going to drink again? No, because I do like a cocktail every once in a while, and I'm cool with that. But I think as part of this, and it's really showing me moderation too, because I really just haven't even wanted it. I mean, that's the beauty of filling your body full of all of this healthy vitamins and minerals and enzymes, and really focusing on your health. That, and I know I've talked about it's impacted our social life, which a lot of times involves alcohol, but I mean, we're not the people that goes out and party all the time anyways. So, I mean, I'm feeling far more fulfilled, honestly, focusing on my health and feeling better than I am as I would from, sitting around drinking a beer. So, but I'm going to continue that too. I mean, I think it's not even been deliberate. I think it's just part of, juicing for this long. But I think for me to continue to see the weight decline and continue to see the health benefits, that's something I need to continue as well. So that's but I just thought it was an odd comment. I'm like, I'm not. Maybe I should be because of my job, but I'm not. So these are just like, to keep thinking about all these new habits that I've been in the habit of doing since this new juicing feast, and things I want to continue to do as we go forward. So I'm feeling really good. I haven't weighed since last week. So that was also one thing I was trying to work on. If you go back to my earlier videos, was, staying off the scale and not letting the numbers play with my head. And I have done that. I did at the very beginning, but don't worry, I'm not going to show it on here and burn out your retinas. But I did take some before photos. My husband did. So I put on a swimsuit, did the, front, back, side, and it was horrific. And so on day 25, I had my husband take a few new snapshots. So I put them side by side, and I can definitely tell a difference in my midsection. I can definitely tell a difference in my back, like the love handles and the hips. I can definitely tell that area. But I think it's just so, it's another test of what are your expectations for yourself. And, when I first saw the after photos, the 25-day photos, I was still horrified by them. I wasn't happy about them. Sorry, I got a message. Wasn't thrilled with how they looked. And it was like, well, what do you think? You're going to look like a supermodel in 25 days? I mean, you weren't a supermodel really ever. So what, are you going to be a supermodel now? But I think it's just this constant need. Like, I want to see, I wanted it overnight. I wanted to, sacrifice things for 25 days and, have exactly what I wanted. But then I did kind of compare them side to side. And when I really could see that there was a marked difference as an improvement, I know that this is the right thing. I mean, I'm seeing the results that I want to see. And then, I also just started thinking, it was 25 days. I mean, how often have you been on a diet for a month and you could barely tell the difference? Or, we have this, it's like a 10-week boot camp. It's called Ferals in the Midwest, where basically you go kickbox and strength train, and, you kill yourself for 10 weeks, and you do before, mid, and after pictures and weigh-ins. And I've done it twice in my life, and now that I've had that back injury, there's just no way I could do that again. But I also started thinking, like, the improvement I saw from day 1 to day 25 doing the juicing is as dramatic or probably more dramatic than what I saw in a 10-week program where I was killing myself working out every 6 days a week. So there really is something to this juicing, whether, I'm sure people want to say, oh, I could never do that. And I've had people say that to me. I could never do that. In fact, I said that to my best friend when she told me that. I told her she was insane. And then she told me that she was going to be super fly when she saw me. And then somehow that ended up with her saying she was going to stab me with a carrot. We banter like that. It was just a joke. But I went through that too. Like, I could never do it. Well, I did. I can. I've done it for 25 days. Have I been perfect at it? No. But I've been pretty darn good at it. And I'm seeing results from it. So it's really about what you put your head around. And that's what I'm just going to start focusing on, is setting goals, staying accountable, and realizing that I don't have to be perfect to see results, but I really need to try to hold myself accountable. Sorry, this is the longest video I've ever done. Just a lot on my mind. I guess that yoga class today, man, got me thinking, huh? You better watch out for the next 20 and 30, because if that's what happens, these videos will just get longer and longer. Well, I hope not, hopefully not. Well, I just thought I'd give you a quick update. A day and a half left, and then I start my transition. But I just wanted to say hi to everybody, and everybody juice on.